Hey, true believers, Englentine here with part 6 of the conversation between me and Tristan. And this time around, we talk about a little bit more on the racism thing when we talk about complying with the cops and so forth and so on. And then we go on, not into a comfort zone of mine. We start talking about manga and all that. And I've got to tell you, I don't know a lot. So I try to make it a conversation I can actually talk about something in. So I think I make a little bit of a fool of myself. I hope you enjoy it. So kick back, relax, and let's get this party started.
I like your outlook on it. I think when it comes to being a conservative, you have a lot more positive outlook than what I've seen. What gets to me is the justification of police brutality that we see on a constant basis. And the just comply, just comply. No, that's not always the answer. Sometimes maybe.
Okay.
But when people take it too far, like you've got to have a reason to search and seizure. You've got to have these things. Just comply isn't always the answer. There needs to be, and going back to even my stream on Sunday, a lot of this starts with when it comes to actual racists, actual bigots, actual homophobes. I think a lot of this starts with the American schooling system. And that's where we need to really look into actually educating about slavery, about race, about these things, so people can understand and not be ignorant, because a lot of racists are just ignorance, right? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Okay. Goodness, I don't know. You know what? I just kind of blank because I don't know what to say about this.
No, you're totally fine. My problem is we don't teach our kids enough, and
okay, I will say this: just comply. Good idea. It really is. We should never just brush that off. Does it always work? No. But it is a great first step. Because once again, you can't control them. I've seen videos of a guy with his hands up or people not fighting, and the cop just seems to be. Actually, I had that happen to me once. The cop just seems to be out for a fight, and that's on the cop.
Right.
He should be reported. And nowadays, I would say everybody, if you're definitely if your state allows it. Florida is we're able to record cops. We're able to record if you're out, you can.
Right.
Put a camera on your dashboard. Seriously, that goes as many directions as you can. But yeah, put one on your dashboard. But definitely comply is a great first step. You can't control what the cop does, but you can control yourself trying not to make the situation worse. And that's all you can control. You can't control the other ones. And I get it. There's bad cops out there. I was driving home one night. This is many years ago, by the way, far more than I would rather say. But I was driving home and I saw bright lights. I'm on the highway. I don't like to shift lanes very much on the highway. I'm just zooming down. Guy behind me comes pulling up. I am not someone who can look, oh, those headlights belong to a 1962 sedan with a. I'm not that guy. So this guy turns on his lights a couple of times. I'm like, well, yeah, I mean, go around or something, you know? And then he turns on his bright lights and just keeps them there. So I adjust my mirror because the light's in my face. And then I, boo! Okay, now I've got to pull over. And this guy comes up and he's got his hand on his freaking gun, and he's got his.
Oh my goodness!
I had my hand on the window and he put his right there, so he's holding me, and he's got his hand on his gun, and he starts yelling at me about how he's doing a prison transfer and has to get there quick, and why the hell am I blocking his way?
Oh my goodness!
And he was just screaming at me, and my thought was, if you're in such a fucking hurry, why didn't you go around me? Instead, I said, sorry. And he just yelled at me some more and left. Didn't ask me for a driver's license. Didn't ask me for any information whatsoever. Just literally yelled at me that he had to hurry and go. There are some shitty cops out there, and I wish they would do a better personality test, but you can't control them. You can only control you. And so comply is not something that I think needs to be shoved under anything.
No. I don't think it needs to be shoved under anything. I'm saying that's an excuse I see a lot of days. Well,
Yeah.
they should have complied. Don't use that as an excuse. Police need more training, plain and simple. We need more education. There's a lot of things we can work on that will better this as a country, and making, like, okay, so for example, police have to, you know, respond to any sort of 911 call. They have to respond to traffic. They sometimes have to remove animals. They are stretched thin. I don't like necessarily always standing up for cops because I don't think they're always in the correct manner. But when you stretch somebody so thin and you want to expect the world out of them, and then not offer stuff like mental health, or not for the people, I mean for the actual cops, you know, be able to have that outlet. There needs to be, they're just, maybe the solution is better training and more policing.
I'm actually not against that at all.
I mean, I'm not for a police state. I don't mean like more policing of the people. I just mean
that's
extra
going to
people.
Ridiculous.
I didn't mean it like that.
We need a police state. I want somebody, I want somebody on every corner telling me I can't do stuff. Yeah, I wouldn't go that far.
No, I definitely didn't mean it like that. I just meant better training, I guess. Let me get this super chat. Everywhere community, thank you so much. No segregation laws in the U.S., but racism can still be possible. World see national by national.
World see nation by nation.
Nation by nation. I'm sorry. Oh, my amazing. See, better education. Come on, guys. Totally not my dislike.
Okay. There you go. Hey, comics, kids.
Yeah. Sorry. No, I just wanted to know what you meant in your comment, because I was like, how did they bring it back? What's going on? I'm so confused.
Yeah, and I get it. Sometimes, especially if I'm on what they call, I'm bombing Pearl Harbor. The Germans are bombing Pearl Harbor, and I'm just kind of going off on a rant. A lot more segues between words are going on in my head than actually exit my mouth sometimes. So I could understand if I confuse when I'm on a rant sometimes. But.
Robert said, good question here. Thoughts on people who think everyone who drops Marvel DC just automatically jump to anime manga guaranteed? Ridiculous. It's not a guarantee. An anime manga can fill the void.
Actually, that was part of Florida's parental rights bill. So now it is a law that if you drop Marvel and DC,
you have to jump to manga.
Yeah, it's
guys.
A manga thing. Yeah. That's one of the things.
I'm not a big manga person at all. I don't think it's a solid jump. I read a couple.
Yeah, I just don't like Asians. So I'm all over that. So yeah.
I don't know what to say to that.
I'm kidding. That's one. Please don't take that serious. Yeah. No, I don't get it, but my kids love it. So there you go. I took them to see it.
Love that stuff.
I took him to see a movie, My Hero Academia, one of those a couple of years ago. My daughter broke her leg, and when she was able to walk, let's go see it. Okay. And I was the food guy because I could not understand what the hell was going on. They were yelling at each other. I remember that a lot of yelling. And so I was like, okay, you want more? I'm that guy. So you guys have fun. I saw some Dragon Ball Z, My Little Pony, something or other. And it was horrible. So God bless you guys for loving it. It just isn't my cup of tea.
It's not mine either. And I don't get the comparison. You get a lot of, oh my God, manga is doing so well. Mm-hmm. Why aren't comics doing so well? And a lot of it is like facts are objective. What sales are objective. But you can subjectively move those things around and take what you want. Like manga is doing so well if you include international numbers. Mm-hmm. But domestically, comics are still beating manga.
Right.
Oh my God. If I say that, I get downvoted to hell.
American version of comics are beating Japanese version of comics in America. Shock, surprise.
I know, right?
Look, I don't think you would, but if you actually are saying that the comic book industry is healthier than it ever was or anything like that, it really is time for you to talk to a comic shop owner.
Right.
But yes, I do understand that a whole bunch of people are going to Manga, or they started with Manga. I did a video, by the way, go to Captain Frugal's channel. He did an incredible video that breaks down
Robert, can you link it? Go ahead.
that breaks down the costs. My favorite was he did a video where it showed the cost of living versus the rising price of comic books, and how it just eclipsed. But he did some really good videos on the financial aspects of comics. I did a video talking about the audience. Guys read comics more than girls.
Right. How dare you? Okay,
period.
No, go ahead. Yes.
That is a fact, my friends. And that doesn't mean that I love the fact that if you say that, people, I like comics. I know I didn't say women don't like comics. Listen to what I'm saying.
Offended.
Yeah. So a lot of comics were written for a long time to be for guys. And what we've seen a couple of years ago, it started a few years back, where they're talking about like 67% of comic book readers are female. No, females tend to come into this liking manga. You are an exception to the rule on this one, Tristan. And they're so when they're talking about this, like 57%, I think it might have been 67, but when they're talking about this, they are talking about a potential audience.
Mm-hmm.
And now you're getting a lot more. Yeah, it's not an audience that actually exists. It's the potential, because women, for the most part, are reading other things that are comic book adjacent, and they can bring them over if only. But what ended up happening is they start making comic books for women in hopes to bring them over, and they ended up kind of losing male interest in some ways. I don't know if you should actually sacrifice the bird in the hand for the bird in the bush.
Right, but
yeah,
I would say some. I wish they would specify on what they were saying: superhero comics or comics in general, because I could see some image books being more popular with women. There's Gilliam March is doing an actual slice of life book right now. That's Stories of Laura or something like that.
I think that women. There are a ton of independent comic books out there that a lot of women might not hate if they don't want to read about superheroes. I remember for just a brief moment, my wife was reading Hellblazer.
Oh, wow.
You remember that, honey? Back in the beginning of our relationship, when you were more open-minded? She goes,
oh my gosh. Yeah. I mean, I love Hellblazer personally, but I can see why women would like manga more. And I also think, and I think the child audience is dominating when it comes to manga and anime. Each anime has a 22-minute commercial, or each manga, I'm sorry, I mix them up sometimes. Has a 22-minute commercial to sell the books. Of course it's going to do well. Kids love that kind of stuff. So pitting them against each other and necessarily like saying one is doing better than the other, when we know, this comic book industry, what we talk about every day, there are problems with it.
Alrighty, kids. So there you go. I have a feeling I'm going to be torn apart more for the manga stuff than anything I said about complying and all that, but let me have it. There you go. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Don't forget to click like, share, subscribe. You know the deal. Do all the stuff that doesn't cost you anything but helps out the algorithm. Also, don't forget to go on over to Ko-Fi. Drop $1 in the till. Sure, that'll cost a little bit, but it's like a tip jar. It's very helpful. Thank everybody who's already done that. To everyone, all of the true believers, thank you very, very much for watching. And I ended it before I stopped. Okay, no, I didn't.